Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we bring you perhaps the most controversial show in the history of Larry King Live. He began his career as president of the fledgling National Socialist Party, the Nazi Party, in Germany. After a failed coup, some prison time, and a best-selling book, he reestablished himself in the German hierarchy, first as Chancellor and then as Führer. The next 10 years under his watch saw Germany's return to power, shame at the Munich Olympics, a failed marriage, and finally, one hell of a world war, complete with what was thought to be a cowardly demise by his own hand. Tonight, risen from the proverbial dead, we welcome Adolf Hitler.
First of all, Larry, I don't know what I was so afraid of. These bagels in the green room are delicious.
Well, Chancellor Hitler, I have
Please, call me Adolf.
Adolf, yes. Well, first of all, I have to say, quite frankly, we were very reluctant to have you on.
Well, I can't say I blame you for that. I mean, you hear the name Hitler.
Well, in the end, we decided this show is about newsmakers. That's been my motto through 40 years of broadcasting, and critics be damned. I'm not about to stop now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you say to all those people out there, the people who view you as a demon, the perpetrator of the most vicious and
Guilty as charged. Larry, look, I was a bad guy. No question. I hate that Hitler. I mean, the yelling, the finger pointing, I don't know. I was a very angry guy.
And this new Hitler?
I get up at 7, have half a melon, do the jumble in the morning paper, and then let the day take me where it will. The other day, I spent 7 hours in the park watching ants cut off part of a sandwich. Me, the inventor of the Blitzkrieg. You know, when you stop having to control everything, it's very freeing.
Oh, why did you do it?
Whew, boy, the $65,000 question, huh? I wasn't a happy kid. I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses, but you go through high school with one testicle and the nickname Shitler. I'm sorry, they can bleep that, right?
Did you ever see the despicable nature of your actions? Was there any remorse?
Oh, sure, but denial is a powerful thing. I always thought I could stop any time I wanted. If I could just get Czechoslovakia, that'll be the end of it. I'll be happy then. And I get it and think, well, geez, Poland's just up the road a piece, and you know the rest. I think admitting to myself that there was a problem was the toughest part.
And when was that?
I mean, there were moments all along where I knew something was wrong. I remember one time, I think it was in Munich, we're having a rally. 100,000 people, they're all chanting my name, the bonfires are going, it's the whole shebang. It should have been a crowning moment, but I clearly remember thinking, what am I doing here? I hate crowds.
Tell us about those final days in the Berlin bunker, where until now we had assumed you had killed yourself.
Yes, right. Well, funny story. Everyone thought I went into the bunker to escape.
Not the case?
No. Actually, as the Allied forces are closing in, I was still in denial. I really thought we were going to rally, you know, make an end run around Switzerland and flank them. So I'm planning furiously and snapping at people, you know, as my therapist says, playing the dictator. So Eva calls me down to the bunker for some emergency with the generators. So anyway, I go down, and there's Eva and Himmler and two of my other closest friends, and I'll never forget. I walk in and say, "Was ist los?" And Eva takes my face in her hands, looks me in the eyes and says, "Adolf, we all love you very much. But if you don't stop with this conquer and purify thing, no one in this room can ever talk to you again."
And that snapped you out of it.
Not quite. I mean, you have to understand I've been running this thing for about 15 years at that point.
Well, what happened?
I shot them. I mean, back then we didn't know from interventions. I just figured they were betraying me. Anyway, I threw on Ava's clothes and snuck out into the night. I lived like an animal for weeks, doing what I had to do to get by. One day, a group of boys were making fun of the lady with the mustache, and I got to look at myself in the reflection of a window and realized they were talking about me. It was then that I knew I had to get my life together.
Interesting. Now, tell me about your relationship with Eva. She was a beautiful woman. Do you think she was mesmerized by your power?
What are you insinuating?
Well, I'm just saying she seemed like a lovely gal, and I really...
Do you think that she was only into me because I was the Führer? You think I conquered half of Europe and killed untold Millions just to get laid?
No, I was merely...
But all I can say is... yes to the first part and amen, brother, to the second. Look, Larry, I learned long ago that Bavarian art makers with oily hair and weaselly mustaches weren't getting the hot ladies. Of course, that was the only reason that Ava went out with me. Women love power and fame. How many times have you been married, Larry?
7, maybe 8. But this last one is for life. I love my Shawnee.
Right. Anyway, my point is, you've married a lot of very beautiful women, and, quite frankly, your own physical presence is, how do I put this, mildly disturbing. I mean, honestly, if you were Larry King, the nice guy who ran a dry cleaners, you and the former Ida Klinghoff of Canarsie would be heading toward your 50th wedding anniversary right about now, right or wrong. No offense, mind you.
Let's go to the phones, okay? Annie from Grand Rapids, Michigan. What's your question for Adolf Hitler?
First of all, Larry, I just want to say I love your show.
Thank you.
My husband was recently diagnosed with shingles, and your show is the only one that takes away the itching.
Okay, wonderful, Annie. Thank you. What's your question for Hitler?
Yes, I want to know what Mr. Hitler thinks of cloning.
Terrific question. Scientists recently cloned a sheep. Dolly, I believe, was her name. You've always had an interest in things genetic. Your take on this scientific breakthrough?
Well, Larry, transgenics, as that branch of genetic research is known, is an exciting specialty, and the Rosalind Project, the sheep cloning, is an exciting advance, but I certainly wouldn't qualify it as a breakthrough.
So your passion for science is undimmed?
Passion, yes, but not obsession. I mean, part of my growth has come in recognizing compulsive tendencies and dealing with them in a proactive manner. For instance, yes, I spend a bit of time immersed in genetic research, but I've also invaded the world of ballroom dancing. And this fall, I'll begin mastering the musical fantasies of the French horn.
Oh, you must admit there are real ethical questions that go along with the cloning of humans.
Well, Larry, let's call a spade, shall we? I mean, the big fear here is that some evil guy gets a hold of this stuff and makes another me. I mean, as early as the 70s, they were making horror movies about it.
Oh, the boys from Brazil. For my money, Sir Larry Olivier never shined brighter. We had him on one time, and I remember...
Yes, well, I never saw the movie, I'm happy to say, although friends told me not only were the performances thin, it was too long.
Oh.
But, Larry, getting back on point, people will never be cloned. Superficially, perhaps, but personality, character, even intelligence cannot be genetically duplicated.
Was the Third Reich working on cloning?
Sure. We gave it a shot. I mean, we had created some chickens that vaguely resembled each other, and one of our top guys had cloned a replica of your heroic dog, Lassie, but after some checking, we found out it was just a reassembled corgi. All involved were put to sleep. Our guys just were not up to the task. I create something, then sabotage its chances of actually working. It's a pattern I've repeated over and over again. I'm defeating all comers on the Western Front. A couple of more weeks, I've got the whole thing sewn up. So what did I do? Attack Russia. Way to go, genius. But, it seems obvious. These insights came very slowly to me.
But you got away with it. After all these years, why resurface and open yourself up to the incredible tumult that your return has created?
Stay off the radar. No, that's a good question. See, I had been talking a good game for many years now. What a changed man I was, how I'd found real peace. But I was still playing the blame game. My therapist challenged me to put up or shut up, to prove to myself that I could take responsibility for my life. So, here I am.
We've been talking with Adolf Hitler. The book is...
Is it over already?
I'm afraid so.
That was fast. I thought I was the one who had ways of making you talk. But seriously, the book is called Mein Comfortable Shoes. You get it?
I do.
Yes, it's about an angry man who learns to appreciate the little things in life. It's about acceptance.
And it's a terrific read. Folks, if you read no other book this summer, make it Mein Comfortable Shoes.
Thank you, Larry.
And what's next for Adolf Hitler?
Well, I'll be doing Politically Incorrect next Thursday. And as always, you can see my old work on the A&E net following Bud Friedman's Anything at the Empire.
Lovely man, Bud Friedman. Very funny guy.
Yes, indeed he is. And as you know, in 2 weeks, I will be appearing on Court TV as I stand trial for crimes against humanity.
What kind of defense will you be offering?
Not much. I fully expect that by this time next year, I'll have been convicted, possibly put to death. But I'm going to represent myself, though, because from now on, the blame goes here. The only one to blame for Hitler is Hitler. Yeah, besides, who wants to get involved with a bunch of phony baloney defense lawyers? I mean, talk about evil.
Well, Adolf, thanks so much for coming by.
Danke schön.
Thank you. Coming up after the break, Lonnie Anderson. She's 50, she's in a new relationship with a younger man, and she's not apologizing. Lonnie Anderson with her new book, 50, A Younger Man and Not Apologizing. After the break.